यहाँ पर आपको एजुकेशन, एक्सप्लेनेशन, टॉप 10 क्वेश्चंस, इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस और एग्जाम्स के मुताबिक न्यू अपडेट्स मिलती रहेंगी।
My dear students, welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will be explaining the MBA third semester subject Industrial Relations and Labor Laws HR as prescribed by Osmania University and other universities of Telangana. We will go through the important questions and answers one by one. Let's begin with a quick revision. Unit 3 first important short question is Trade Unionism. Trade unionism refers to the formation and activities of trade unions by workers to protect their rights and interests. A trade union is an organized group of employees who come together to improve wages, working conditions, job security, and welfare. The main aim of trade unionism is to create unity among workers and provide them a collective voice to negotiate with management. Instead of speaking individually, workers speak together, which gives them more strength and protection. Functions of trade unions: negotiate better wages and benefits, protect workers from unfair treatment, resolve disputes through discussion, promote welfare and job security. Example: if factory workers feel their wages are low, the trade union discusses the issue with management and negotiates a salary hike on behalf of all workers. Importance: trade unionism reduces exploitation, improves industrial relations, and promotes industrial peace. Remember, trade unionism is equal to unity plus collective voice plus protection of workers. Next important short question is 2. Trade union movement in India. The trade union movement in India refers to the growth and development of trade unions to protect workers' rights and improve working conditions. It began during the British period, when industrial workers faced low wages, long working hours, and unsafe workplaces. The movement gained strength in the early 20th century with the formation of organized unions. In 1920, the All India Trade Union Congress (ATUC) was formed, marking an important milestone. Later, laws like the Trade Unions Act, 1926 gave legal recognition to trade unions. After independence, trade unions played a key role in securing minimum wages, social security, and better labor laws. They also helped workers voice their concerns through collective bargaining instead of conflicts. Example: Indian railway workers formed strong unions to demand fair pay and job security, leading to better service conditions. Remember, trade union movement in India is equal to struggle, organization, legal protection, workers' welfare. Next important short question is 3. Challenges of trade unions in India. Trade unions in India face many challenges while protecting workers' rights and maintaining good industrial relations. One major problem is multiplicity of unions. In many industries, several unions exist in the same organization, which leads to internal rivalry and weak bargaining power. Another challenge is political interference. Many trade unions are linked to political parties, so decisions are sometimes taken for political benefit rather than workers' welfare. Low membership and awareness among workers is also a problem, especially in the unorganized sector. Many workers do not understand the importance of unions or hesitate to join. Financial weakness is another issue. Due to low membership fees, unions often lack funds to support workers during strikes or legal cases. Example: in a factory with multiple unions, management may ignore demands because unions fail to speak with one voice. Remember, challenges of trade unions is equal to many unions plus politics plus low awareness plus weak funds. Next Unit 3. Long questions. First important long question is 1. Historical and legal framework. Trade unionism. Trade unionism in India developed as a response to the problems faced by industrial workers, such as low wages, long working hours, unsafe conditions, and job insecurity. To understand trade unionism clearly, we study its historical background and legal framework. Historical background. Trade unionism in India began during the British rule in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Early industries like textiles, railways, and plantations employed large numbers of workers under poor conditions. Workers realized that individual protest was weak, so they started forming groups to raise their voice collectively. The first organized trade union activities appeared around 1918 to 1920. A major milestone was the formation of the All India Trade Union Congress, ATUC, in 1920, which gave a national platform to workers. Gradually, trade unions spread across different industries and regions. After independence, trade unions became stronger and played an important role in improving labor welfare and industrial relations. Legal framework. The Trade Unions Act, 1926, is the most important law governing trade unions in India. This act gave legal recognition to trade unions and protected their members. Key features of the act include 1. Registration of trade unions. At least 7 workers can form and register a trade union. 2. Rights and immunities. Registered unions are protected from certain legal actions during lawful activities. 3. Internal administration. The Act prescribes rules for union management, accounts, and elections. 4. Political activities. A separate fund can be created for political purposes. Other labor laws like the Industrial Disputes Act, 1947 also support trade union activities by encouraging collective bargaining and peaceful settlement of disputes. Example: if factory workers feel they are underpaid, they can form a registered trade union under the Trade Unions Act, 1926. The union can legally negotiate with management for better wages and working conditions. Remember, history is equal to workers' struggle and unity. Law is equal to legal protection and recognition. Together, the historical and legal framework of trade unionism ensures workers' rights, collective strength, and industrial peace in India. Next important long question is 2. Objectives and functions of trade unions. A trade union is an organized group of workers formed to protect their rights and promote their welfare. Trade unions play an important role in maintaining healthy industrial relations between workers and management. Their objectives and functions are closely related. Objectives of trade unions. 1. Protect workers' interests. The main objective of trade unions is to protect workers from exploitation and unfair treatment by employers. 2. Improve wages and working conditions. Trade unions aim to secure fair wages, reasonable working hours, job security, and safe working conditions. 3. Promote industrial peace. By solving disputes through discussion and negotiation, unions help maintain peace and harmony in industries. 4. Provide collective strength. Unions give workers a collective voice, which is stronger than individual bargaining. 5. Ensure social justice. Trade unions work for equality, dignity, and respect for workers. Functions of trade unions. 1. Collective bargaining. Unions negotiate with management on wages, bonus, leave, and working conditions. Example: A union negotiates an annual salary increase for factory workers. 2. Representation of workers. Unions represent workers in disputes, disciplinary cases, and grievance handling. 3. Welfare activities. Unions provide welfare facilities such as medical aid, education support, and legal help. 4. Protecting workers' rights. They ensure proper implementation of labor laws and standing orders. 5. Education and awareness. Unions educate workers about their rights, duties, and labor laws. Example: in a manufacturing company, workers face long working hours. The trade union discusses the issue with management and helps introduce an 8-hour work system, improving workers' health and productivity. Remember, objectives is equal to what unions want to achieve. Functions is equal to how unions achieve them. Trade unions act as a bridge between workers and management, ensuring fairness, cooperation, and industrial peace. Next important long question is 3. History and growth of trade union in India. The history and growth of trade unions in India is closely connected with the development of industries and the struggles of workers for better living and working conditions. Trade unions emerged when workers realized that unity gives strength. Early period before 1920. During the British rule, industries like textiles, jute, railways, and plantations expanded rapidly. Workers were paid very low wages, worked long hours, and faced unsafe conditions. Initially, workers protested individually, but these efforts were weak. Slowly, workers began forming associations and unions to protect their interests. Some early unions include the Madras Labour Union, 1918, one of the first organized trade unions in India. This period laid the foundation for organized labor movements. Formation of national unions, 1920 to 1947. A major milestone in Indian trade union history was the formation of the All India Trade Union Congress, ATUC, in 1920. It provided a national platform for workers across industries. In 1926, the Trade Unions Act was passed, giving legal recognition to trade unions. This encouraged the growth of registered unions. During this period, trade unions actively participated in workers' movements and freedom struggle. Post-independence period, after 1947. After independence, trade unions became stronger and more organized. New labor laws like the Industrial Disputes Act, 1947 supported collective bargaining and peaceful dispute settlement. Trade unions helped workers get benefits such as minimum wages, job security, social security, and welfare measures. However, political influence led to the formation of multiple unions, creating challenges. Example: in the textile industry, trade unions helped workers demand better wages and fixed working hours, leading to improved working conditions. Remember, history, struggle, organization, legal recognition, growth. The growth of trade unions in India reflects workers' fight for rights, dignity, and fair treatment, making them an important part of the Indian industrial system. Next important long question is 4. Trade unions in pre- and post-independence period. Trade unions in India developed in response to the problems faced by industrial workers. Their role and strength changed significantly during the pre-independence and post-independence periods. Trade unions in the pre-independence period. Before 1947, India was under British rule. Industrial workers in sectors like textiles, jute, railways, and plantations suffered from low wages, long working hours, unsafe working conditions, and job insecurity. There were no strong labor laws to protect workers. The first organized trade union activities started in the early 20th century. An important event was the formation of the All India Trade Union Congress, ATUC, in 1920, which gave workers a national platform. The Trade Unions Act, 1926, was a major achievement of this period. It gave legal recognition to trade unions and allowed workers to form registered unions. During this period, trade unions also supported the freedom movement and fought for basic labor rights. Trade unions in the post-independence period. After 1947, trade unions gained greater importance in building a fair industrial system. The Indian government introduced several labor laws such as the Industrial Disputes Act, 1947, Minimum Wages Act, and Factories Act to protect workers. Trade unions actively participated in collective bargaining, wage negotiations, and dispute settlement. They helped workers secure better wages, job security, social security benefits, and welfare facilities. However, political influence increased, leading to multiple unions in one organization, which weakened unity. Example: in the post-independence period, railway unions successfully negotiated improved pay scales and retirement benefits for workers. Remember, pre-independence is equal to struggle for rights and recognition. Post-independence is equal to growth, legal support, and welfare. Trade unions played a vital role in improving workers' lives and maintaining industrial relations in India. Next important long question is: 5. Write about the significance of Trade Unions Act, 1926. The Trade Unions Act, 1926, is a landmark labor law in India that gave legal recognition and protection to trade unions. Before this act, trade unions had no legal status, and workers faced many difficulties in organizing themselves. This act strengthened the trade union movement and improved industrial relations. Legal recognition to trade unions. The most important significance of this act is that it gives legal status to registered trade unions. Any 7 or more workers can form a trade union and get it registered. Once registered, the union becomes a legal body that can sue and be sued. Protection to trade union activities. The Act provides legal protection, immunity, to trade unions and their members for lawful activities like strikes and collective bargaining. This means workers are protected from unnecessary criminal or civil cases when they act in the interest of the union. Regulation of trade unions. The Act ensures proper functioning and transparency of trade unions. It requires unions to maintain proper accounts, conduct elections, follow rules regarding membership and administration. This prevents misuse of power and ensures democratic functioning of unions. Encouragement to collective bargaining. By recognizing trade unions, the Act encourages collective bargaining between workers and management. This reduces conflicts and promotes peaceful settlement of disputes. Example: if factory workers are unhappy with wages, they can form a registered trade union under this Act. The union can legally negotiate with management for a salary increase without fear of punishment. Remember, Trade Unions Act, 1926 is equal to legal recognition plus protection plus orderly union functioning. This Act plays a vital role in protecting workers' rights, strengthening unions, and maintaining industrial peace in India. Next important long question is: 6. Changing industrial environment. The industrial environment refers to the conditions in which industries operate, including technology, workforce, management practices, government policies, and market competition. In recent years, the industrial environment in India has changed rapidly due to globalization, technological advancement, and economic reforms. These changes have a strong impact on industrial relations and labor laws. Factors causing change in industrial environment. 1. Globalization and liberalization. Indian industries now face competition from global companies. This has forced organizations to improve quality, productivity, and efficiency. 2. Technological changes. Automation, artificial intelligence, robotics, and digital tools have changed the way work is done. Many manual jobs are being replaced by machines, while new skilled jobs are created. 3. Changing workforce. The workforce is becoming more educated, skilled, and diverse. Young employees expect better work-life balance, flexible working hours, and career growth. 4. Government policies and labor reforms. New labor codes aim to simplify laws and promote ease of doing business while protecting workers' rights. 5. Growth of service and gig economy. IT services, e-commerce, and gig jobs like delivery and freelancing have increased, changing traditional employer-employee relationships. Impact on industrial relations. Greater focus on skill development and training. Shift from confrontation to cooperation and participation. Increased importance of collective bargaining and dialogue. Example: an automobile company introduces robots in its production line. Workers are trained to operate machines instead of doing manual work. This improves productivity, but also requires cooperation between management and workers. Remember, changing industrial environment is equal to technology plus globalization plus new workforce plus new labor laws. Industries that adapt to change, respect workers, and promote cooperation can maintain industrial peace and achieve long-term success. Next important long question is: 7. Explain about the role of trade unions in globalized economy. A globalized economy means that businesses operate across countries due to liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Companies face international competition, use advanced technology, and adopt flexible work practices. In such an environment, the role of trade unions becomes very important to protect workers' interests while supporting economic growth. Changing role of trade unions. 1. Protection of workers' rights. In a globalized economy, companies may try to reduce costs by cutting wages or benefits. Trade unions protect workers from exploitation and ensure fair wages and safe working conditions. 2. Collective bargaining. Trade unions negotiate with management on wages, work hours, bonuses, and job security to ensure workers get a fair share of business growth. 3. Skill development and training. Global competition requires skilled workers. Trade unions encourage training and reskilling programs to help workers adapt to new technologies. 4. Promoting industrial peace. Instead of strikes, modern trade unions focus on dialogue, cooperation, and problem-solving to maintain industrial harmony. 5. Social security and welfare. Trade unions work for social security benefits like health insurance, pension, and safety measures, especially for contract and gig workers. Challenges in a globalized economy. Outsourcing and contract employment. Automation and job insecurity. Weak union presence in service and IT sectors. Example: In an IT company facing global competition, the trade union negotiates flexible working hours and skill upgradation programs instead of opposing technology. This helps both workers and the company. Remember, globalization is equal to competition plus technology plus change. Trade unions is equal to protection plus cooperation plus skill development. Trade unions play a balancing role by protecting workers while supporting productivity and economic growth in a globalized world.